Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm here again in Sutton Park at Town Gate at the famous hairpin turn. There's a great video clip here of Roger Clark in a Porsche 911 doing a handbrake turn around this junction.
Hairpin right at junction. Hairpin right.
So in this episode I'm going to cover off how I made the transition from spectator to rally driver. So I've talked about Group B and Group A rally cars of the 80s and 90s. So as we moved into the millennium and the year 2000s, sadly the Group A's and Group B's were no more. But there was still a number of motorsport events and motor shows that I went to with my dad and friends throughout the early 2000s. These included the Rally Wales WRCGB event and numerous motor shows. And it was going to numerous motor shows, in particular at Birmingham and the NEC. You see many cars, including rally cars. And back then, the rallying rules were that all cars that were homologated to compete in rally championships had to be based off a standard spec car. And that's where there's some great cars of the 80s and 90s and early 2000s referred to as the hot hatches. And it's really these hot hatches as I started going to more shows and more classic car shows and so on, started looking at rally cars. And in particular when lockdown hit and people had a lot more time on their hands, they were building rally cars as project cars. And it's while looking on eBay that I spotted someone had built a Fiesta rally car. What caught my attention was whoever built it had put the iconic Escort Cosworth blue tiger stripes down the side. So that's really when I started to take it seriously and look into what would be involved in purchasing my own rally car. So I started making a few inquiries around this Fiesta rally car. Started looking into details as to what types of events I could compete in, what the specification of the car was, and what type of rallies that I could look to do. And it's at that point I started to do some searches online and looked into the Motorsport UK, or the MSA regulations referred to as the Blue Book. I started to look into the types of rallying that you could do, and there's different types of rallying, from point-to-point navigation to night rallies to special stage rallies to targa rallies, and the list went on and on. Then I started to look at the section around what was involved in special stage gravel and tarmac rallies, and the reason for that is that's where my passion and inspiration came from watching the RAC rally back in the 80s and 90s, and I knew that was the type of rallying that I really wanted to do. So the Blue Book is very complicated and there's a lot of information in there. So at this point I started to look at, well, what type of licenses do you need, how do you become involved, and actually how do you make this happen. So first of all, you need to join a motor club, be a registered motor club. So that was the first thing I did, was to look online, and after some searching I came across Streatley Motor Club here in Sutton Coldfield in the West Midlands. I didn't even know the club existed, and I made some inquiries just under 2 years ago now and joined the club, and that's been absolutely invaluable for me. Really enjoyed being part of Streatley Motor Club, and the guys there, as well as sharing stories about cars and motorsport and rallying, which is the areas that they specialise in, there was a lot of really good advice that they gave me as well, which has been invaluable, and also in helping me get set up and running everything through from selecting the right car, the right categories for the level that I'd be going into, up to support with finding the co-driver, what you need to do from maintaining the vehicle and then support on your events as well. So I really appreciate and like to thank all the guys and girls there in the club. So as I started to spend more time at club nights at Streatley Motor Club, talking about what my ideal car would be that I would compete in, and at the time I wanted to have a Rally Fiesta R5, which is a category 2 rally car, great car. I've been following this guy on YouTube who owned one, and after really kind of going through that and understanding the costs, the type of vehicle that it was and what category in, I began to realise that it wasn't a suitable fit given my level of inexperience. And at the same time, the guys invited me out to go marshalling. We attended the Rally of North Wales. That gave me an opportunity to see some of the cars, speak with some of the drivers, talk to them about rallying, how they got involved, and get a really good idea then of what might be a suitable car for me. And during that event in Rally North Wales, the really mini rally championship was competing. There was about 15 or so mini cars, and towards the end of the morning stages they came back into service where we were manning the time control, and there was this great drive that they did down the approach. It was like the clip from the Italian Job, the famous film where the minis of course feature, and they're all beeping their horns. So we had a bit of a chat with those guys, what's involved in the mini rally championship, and what that looks like from a cost and budget perspective and how you get involved. So at that point I felt that that was the right fit. I'd then be joining a championship and at the right level where I could really enjoy the sport that I was going into. So the next thing I needed to do was to apply for my motorsport club licence to allow me to compete in national and interclub events here in the UK. To obtain your licence, first have to complete what's called the BARS course. So this involved going to the rally school and completing a practical assessment on the driving around a rally stage, and then also a theory test before passing at the end of the course. So for me, given that I wanted to go into special stage and gravel rallies in particular, there was no other place really to go than the Phil Price Rally School in Wales. There are other rally schools that are available within the country. Phil Price I selected mainly for the reason that they have a full stage rally course on venue. That was an excellent day. So John and James, the course leaders there, talked through the plans and what I wanted to do, and I was successful in passing the BARS course, which then allowed me to apply for my MSA competitive driving licence, which you need to compete. So I joined a club, I'd completed my BARS test, I had my licence through, and I was ready to go rallying. So all I needed next was to be able to find the right car, and as mentioned previously, that was the Mini. Took a little bit of time for one to become through, and then spotted one on eBay and had a look, and that was the right car for me. It's relatively straightforward. Couple of points to note is again selecting the right car for the type of rallying that you're going to be doing. The one that I went for was built specifically for the mini rally challenge. It's important to check when you do look at cars, when you're thinking of buying one, that it has what's known as its vehicle passport or logbook. This again is linked to the regulations through Motorsport UK. Every competing vehicle must be logbooked and have a vehicle logbook before you can compete. So this one had got its vehicle passport, as they're also known, and logbook, which was good. it had also been built to the regulations of the Mini Rally Challenge. So within each category of rallying and motorsport, you'll have the standard MSA regulations which you must comply to, and then you'll also most likely have a subset of regulations that applies to the particular category or challenge of which you're taking part in. So I had my car, did a bit of work on it over the course of the last year. I'll show you a couple of clips on that. I'm pleased to say that car's now ready for me to go rallying. So that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch up with you in the next episode. Thanks now, bye bye.
Long fast right at junction. May tighten a bit. Easy left. Hairpin left at junction, funny arrows. That's it. Hairpin left. That's it. Very narrow, very muddy.